Do you feel overwhelmed by the pressures of life? Are you seeking inner peace? Do you want to become a stronger person? If the answer is yes, then this video is for you. Today, on Buddha's teachings, I will share 5 teachings of the Buddha that can help you cultivate a resilient and strong mind. Apply these teachings in your life, and you will witness an incredible, positive transformation within yourself. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to support the channel. Thank you for watching. In Buddhism, developing a strong spirit and a resilient mind is not a short-term journey, but a long process that requires consistent practice over time. Below are the Buddhist teachings and philosophies that can help us build a strong and steadfast mind. 1. Understanding impermanence. Anicca. In the teachings of the Buddha, impermanence, anicca, is one of the 3 fundamental marks of existence. It asserts that everything in life, whether material things, emotions, or our deepest thoughts, is subject to change. Nothing is permanent or eternal. This impermanence defines the transient nature of life. Understanding this deeply allows us to recognize that the things we consider important, the joys and sorrows we experience, are all fleeting moments. Losses, pain, and even the greatest successes do not last forever. To truly understand impermanence is not just to acknowledge that everything changes, but to live with wisdom and serenity. When we clearly see the temporary nature of all things, we no longer cling to them. Joy will no longer intoxicate us, and sorrow will no longer cause unbearable suffering. As a result, the mind becomes strong and steadfast in all situations, like a mountain standing firm amidst the changing tides of life. Impermanence is not something to fear or dread, but a key to freedom from attachment and negative emotions. By deeply understanding impermanence, we gradually free ourselves from dependence on external factors. Challenges, failures, and even loss are just stages in our journey. When facing difficulties, we no longer get swept away by emotions, but instead maintain mindfulness and inner peace. Every experience, whether painful or joyful, is like clouds passing through the sky, coming and going, leaving no trace behind. In this ever-changing life, always remember that the hardships you face are only temporary, like waves that rise and eventually calm. Understanding and accepting impermanence will help you become stronger, teaching you to see things with deeper insight and to overcome obstacles more easily. When you are no longer bound by temporary emotions or events, you will find inner peace, a solid state that nothing can shake. 2. Mindfulness, sati, and awareness. In Buddhist philosophy, mindfulness, sati, is one of the core practices for training the mind and achieving enlightenment. Mindfulness is not simply about concentrating attention, but it encompasses a deep awareness of each present moment with an insightful understanding of the nature of things. When we practice mindfulness, our minds are no longer distracted by the past or anxious about the future. Instead, we return to live fully in the present. This is the key to freeing ourselves from restlessness, exhaustion, and the negative emotions caused by a scattered mind. Mindfulness helps us develop an awakened mind, a state of clarity, purity, and freedom from being clouded by unnecessary emotions. When awareness is present, each of our actions and thoughts becomes more meaningful, not driven by habit or unconscious repetition, but as a result of a full understanding of their impact on ourselves and the world around us. This awareness allows us to see the true nature of emotions, not letting them control us, but becoming a wise observer, not swept away by their current. Mindfulness is not merely a tranquil state of mind, but a tool that helps us cope with life's difficulties. When facing stress or pressure, if we maintain mindfulness, we are less likely to be driven into states of anxiety or panic. Mindfulness allows us to approach problems with clearer insight, undistorted by fleeting emotions. As a result, we can make more thoughtful and wise decisions, free from the influence of insecurity or distress. Practicing mindfulness is not something distant or unreachable, but can be cultivated daily through simple activities like breathing, walking, or even eating. By focusing on each action and not letting the mind chase after wandering thoughts, we are training our consciousness to become stronger and more focused. Mindfulness is the thread that connects us to the present, bringing peace and a deep understanding of life. How to begin? Mindfulness practice. Start practicing mindfulness through daily meditation. In each meditation session, focus on your breath, feeling each inhale and exhale. When your mind starts to wander, gently bring it back to the present. Gradually, you will develop the ability to be mindful in every moment of life. When you live fully in the present, without being swept up in unnecessary worries, your mind will become steadfast and clear, ready to face any challenge life brings. 3. Understanding suffering, dukkha, and how to face pain. In Buddhist philosophy, suffering, dukkha, is a central concept that reflects the inherent imperfection and pain that exists in life. While life offers moments of joy, it inevitably involves suffering, from everyday hardships like illness and aging to deeper mental struggles such as loss, failure, and anxiety. The Buddha taught that suffering is an unavoidable part of the human journey, but the key lies not in how we avoid suffering, but in how we perceive and deeply understand it. Buddhism does not encourage us to escape or resist suffering, as doing so only intensifies our anxiety and unease. Instead, the essential practice is to accept and comprehend the nature of suffering. When we understand that suffering arises from internal causes, such as desires, ignorance, and attachment, we can more easily find a way to overcome it. Suffering is not foreign or external. It reflects the impermanence and selflessness of all things. The attachments and cravings we cling to are fleeting, and when they fail to endure, dissatisfaction and suffering inevitably follow. In facing suffering, the Buddha did not teach us to be pessimistic or despairing. On the contrary, suffering is a valuable lesson that enables us to grow in patience, compassion, and wisdom. When we see suffering as an integral part of life, no longer treating it as an enemy or obstacle, we gain the equanimity to face it with a deeper understanding. Suffering helps us learn the art of letting go, releasing our grip on fleeting desires, and recognizing that true happiness comes from liberation from material and psychological attachments. The Buddha outlined the path to overcoming suffering through the Four Noble Truths and the Noble Eightfold Path, where wisdom, prajna, and compassion, metta, play essential roles. Wisdom allows us to understand the deep-rooted causes of suffering, while compassion helps us cultivate love and empathy, not only for ourselves, but for all beings. When the mind is trained to confront suffering with wisdom and compassion, we find serenity and freedom in any situation, no longer swept away by the tide of negative emotions. How to approach suffering. When facing difficulties and pain in life, rather than viewing them as unavoidable adversaries, see them as opportunities to train your mind and strengthen your will. Each challenge is a precious lesson, helping you develop patience, wisdom, and compassion. Use wisdom to delve into the roots of suffering. It may stem from your own unproductive desires and cravings, and from there, you will learn how to free yourself from those chains. As you approach suffering with compassion and understanding, your mind will become steadfast and resilient, and you will find your path to liberation and peace. 5. Developing compassion and non-violence. In Buddhist philosophy, compassion, metta, and non-violence, ahimsa, are two core principles that foster inner peace and spiritual strength. Compassion is not just about helping others in times of need. It involves opening our hearts to embrace and understand all beings, including ourselves. When we live with compassion, our souls become tranquil and unperturbed by negative emotions such as anger, hatred, or hurt. This tranquility serves as the foundation for maintaining clarity in all circumstances, enabling us to confront challenges without being overwhelmed. Compassion is not a sign of weakness. Rather, it is the hidden strength within each individual. By treating ourselves and others with love and forgiveness, we can avoid being drawn into futile conflicts or trapped in cycles of resentment and animosity. Nonviolence is the result of compassion practiced thoroughly, not only in our actions and words, but also in our thoughts. It helps us remain calm amidst life's conflicts and fosters a harmonious environment where everyone can grow and share together. Buddhism teaches that all acts of violence, whether physical or mental, only bring suffering and unrest to both the perpetrator and the victim. In contrast, when we practice compassion and nonviolence, we not only help others feel at peace, but also spare ourselves from unnecessary pain. Compassion is a bridge between ourselves and the world around us. It deepens our understanding of others' suffering and nurtures empathy, love, and a desire to alleviate the pain of all beings. The practice of compassion should not be limited to acts of charity, but must also be cultivated in our daily thoughts and attitudes. A compassionate heart does not judge, does not harbor envy, and is not swayed by negative emotions. Instead, it nurtures gratitude, patience, and the ability to understand others. When we act with compassion, we not only bring happiness to others, but also purify our own hearts, freeing ourselves from the disturbances caused by life's temptations and challenges. To develop compassion, we should practice it not only in significant matters, but also in the small, everyday moments of our lives. Start by slowing down, listening to others with an open heart, and being willing to forgive mistakes, including your own. Nonviolence is how we interact with the world, not using force to dominate, but using compassion to spread peace. As you cultivate compassion and nonviolence, you will find your mind becoming lighter, more resolute, and less swayed by the storms of life. Practical steps for cultivating compassion. Practice compassion not only in actions, but also in your words and thoughts. Whenever you face a challenge, respond with love and understanding, rather than anger and resentment. A compassionate heart will help you remain steadfast, and any difficulty can become an opportunity for developing your spiritual strength. By living with compassion and nonviolence, you will not only create a happy life for yourself, but also spread peace and happiness to everyone around you. 6. Practicing letting go and inner peace. In Buddhist philosophy, letting go is not merely a concept, but a profound practice that helps our minds become more resilient and at peace. A resilient mind is not one that is untouched by life's storms. Rather, it is one that can let go and recover from adversities, learning to rise again after each fall. When we practice letting go, we not only free ourselves from the shackles of negative emotions, but also create space for peace and clarity. Buddhism teaches that clinging to emotions, memories, and desires is the root of suffering. When we cannot let go, our minds become heavy and clouded, imprisoned by worries and pain. In contrast, when we learn to let go, we experience boundless freedom, no longer controlled by external circumstances. This does not mean abandoning our responsibilities or emotions. Instead, it is a way to confront them gently and without bondage. Letting go begins with the awareness and acceptance that everything in life is impermanent. Negative emotions, disappointments, and suffering are all temporary states. When we recognize that these experiences are not the eternal essence of life, our minds naturally open up to forgiveness and acceptance. This is the key to achieving inner peace. A mind at peace is not confined within internal conflicts, but instead seeks harmony and tranquility, allowing us to fully embrace the present moment. The practice of letting go also fosters patience and endurance. When faced with difficulties, instead of letting negative emotions overwhelm us, we can sit down, reflect, and relax our minds. Allow yourself to feel the pain, but do not let it control you. This way, your mind becomes more adaptable, recovering easily from challenges without being burdened by unnecessary suffering. Practical steps for letting go. Start letting go of the burdens in your mind and negative emotions. Begin with small matters, such as anxious thoughts about the future or painful memories from the past. As you learn to find peace within, you will develop a strong and serene spirit. Practice meditation or breathing techniques to help clear your mind and create space for tranquility. Letting go will lighten your load, and in a state of inner peace, you will have the strength to face any challenges life brings, transforming each difficulty into an opportunity for growth and development. Developing a strong spirit and a resilient mind. Developing a strong spirit and a resilient mind is not particularly difficult, but it requires patience, practice, and deep awareness. By understanding and practicing the Buddha's teachings on impermanence, mindfulness, compassion, and letting go, we can cultivate our minds to become more steadfast, strong, and peaceful in every situation. The key lies in not just facing life, but in living with awareness and understanding. When we practice mindfulness, every moment becomes an opportunity to learn and grow. We learn to understand ourselves, accept emotions as they come and go, without allowing them to dominate our actions and thoughts. This not only helps us develop mental strength, but also creates inner peace, allowing us to view every situation from a broader perspective. Ultimately, letting go is an important step toward achieving tranquility and peace. When we learn to release burdens, expectations, and unnecessary desires, our minds become lighter and more open to new challenges. We are no longer trapped in negative thoughts or painful emotions. Instead, we can freely experience life with an open heart. Remember that the journey of mental cultivation is not a straight path, but a road full of obstacles, yet every step is worthwhile. Little by little, through patience and practice, we can transform the Buddha's teachings into inner strength, helping us lead a more peaceful and meaningful life. Ultimately, when we find true peace within, we are not only freed from suffering, but also become a source of inspiration for those around us, contributing to a more peaceful and loving world. And I am Buddha Teachings, always with you on the path to enlightenment. See you in the next video.